Hey there. Thank you again for being part of the podcast Patreon. This week's bonus episode is going to be a little short one where I tell you what I have been reading. Also, it is my birthday, so I am celebrating all of the things that I like about me. And one of the things I like about me is that, well, lately I take it easy on myself. My biggest problem lately, and I've probably mentioned this a couple of times, is that I'm having trouble reading texts. Like reading a book used to bring me into this super chill, like I wouldn't be able to hear anything. I wouldn't be able to see anything. I would be completely absorbed into my book. And I've had a harder time reaching that sort of state of reading relaxation, but I can reach that sort of hypnotic, chill story time feeling with audiobooks. So I've been listening to a lot of audio. And the benefit of audio is that I can also clean or sew or quilt or cook. So I'm still moving around and I'm still, using all my nervous energy, but I'm also enjoying a nice story. I'm trying really hard not to have feelings about the fact that reading text isn't my brain's favorite thing right now. So, I'm trying not to build on my own anxiety. It is really weird though. Like I've never had my brain be like, listen, text, no, let's go listen to things. Fortunately for me, the libraries that I have access to have a ton of audiobooks, and I also have access to Hoopla, which has even more. I canceled my Audible subscription, which I'm kind of regretting because since I canceled, the entire Evan Evans series by Rhys Bowen has been released in audio with the narrator that I liked. But of course, it is an Audible-only production. I like the series, but I spent all my credits on buying the Peter Grant series by Ben Aronovich so I can listen to those anytime because Kobna Holdbrook-Smith is the best narrator. He's like one of my top 3. I didn't know I was going to be the type of person that had top narrators, but apparently I am the person who has top narrators. I also want to remind you, if you did not know, you may have library reciprocity with other libraries in your area or in your state. For example, in Maryland, I can get a library card at any of the county libraries and Baltimore City as long as I show them my Maryland driver's license or a piece of ID that has my Maryland address on it. So I have a bunch of library cards, and I can also get a library card in DC, which I did because it's like right over there. So I have DC, I have Anne Arundel, I have Prince George's County, I have Montgomery County, I have Baltimore. I had a membership from out of state for Brooklyn, but they ended that program. And when my children go to college, I shall see if I can get library cards there. And it's nice because at the end of the year, if I want to make donations, I just donate to all these libraries because I have used their catalogs so extensively. I'm also really lucky in that Penguin Random House has an app for reviewing their audio releases in review form. So they're advanced releases, but it's audio. They don't do all of their titles because not every book's audio, I don't think, is ready at the same time as publication, although maybe that's changed. I could be wrong. But I do get some review copies, which is pretty spiffy. So here are some things that I have been listening to and enjoying. I mentioned the Evan Evans series by Rhys Bowen. The thing about Rhys Bowen in this series is that there is a primary romance interest, but the hero doesn't really stand up to the other person who is interested in him. However, the mysteries are great, and there's a ton of Welsh, which makes me really happy, because the characters will go in and out of saying things in Welsh, and the narrator does a great job with that. I have been listening, as you know, to the Veronica Speedwell series, which are written by Deanna Raybourn and narrated by Angèle Masters. They're scrumptious. They're so good. Masters' performance is great because Veronica is really a smart character. She's artfully sarcastic. And I have read some characters that were like that. And then when I listened to the audio, I thought they came across more like just an asshole, like a garden variety buttnoid, rather than like a character who's sarcastic and caustic, but not mean. And Masters completely handles all of the sarcasm and the wry tone that Veronica uses. I am currently listening to An Impossible Imposter, and this whole series is just scrumptious in audio. Highly recommend. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go find yourself that audiobook. I have had to plan for what I'm going to read once I run out of Veronica Speedwell books. I have a library copy of the audio of Sarah MacLean's Bombshell on my Libby shelf, and I think I'm going to try that next. I have also heard that the audiobook version of The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies by Alison Goodman, who was a podcast guest recently, I've heard the audio of that is terrific. So I have that on hold. I'm waiting for my turn. Now, I did read a book. I read a book in one day on a plane in about 2 hours. And I'm going to write a review of it. I have challenged myself to review everything that I read this month. I'm going to see if I can flex those muscles. But this was a book called Death in Soho. It is in Kindle Unlimited. It is set in 1929, 1930, I think. I'm still not sure about the series. I could not guess the end of the mystery. I could not tell who did it. But I also felt like I was reading a book that was about characters with the depth of paper dolls against a really vibrant background. So there was a lot of setting detail, different parts of London in the 1920s and different pieces of historical information, lots and lots of cool backdrop. But like the characters did not have a lot of depth. And so much of the story is dialogue that there was a lot of, as you know, Bob, dialogue, which is not my fave. So while there wasn't a lot of exposition, there was a lot of dialogue, but it was also, oh, remember when we did this? Oh, yes. And do you remember when this happened? And it's like, okay. Finally, I have a review copy of the Murder Bot book. Please don't hate me. There's a new Murder Bot book coming out in November. And I'm debating whether I'm going to reread the whole series and then read that one, or read the new one, then go back and reread the series start to finish and then end with the new one. I think I'm worried that the series will lose its magic if I reread it too many times. I can also tell you what is coming out very soon that you might be interested in. For the rest of the summer, there are a bunch of books coming out that maybe you would like to know about. So I'm going to tell you about them. June 27th, A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seales. I have read this. It is bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers, silly. I explained it to the review team and they were all like, are you okay? Like if I try to tell people about this book, I sound like a 9-year-old telling you about their dream. It is completely off the chain. But if you like historical mysteries, it's very fun. On June 20th, also next week, The Latest Lady Derby is out. That's A Fatal Illusion by Anna Lee Huber. And I have heard that it is very good. In July, there are 2 books I want to tell you about. I mean, there's more than that, but I'm just going to limit myself to 2. July 25th, the new side Changeling comes out by Nalini Singh. It's called Resonance Surge. And then July 11th, Maureen Lee Lenker, who is a writer for EW, has her debut novel, It Happened One Fight, which is set in Hollywood with both an old Hollywood and a new Hollywood story, I believe, but it's very much glamorous Hollywood and contemporary Hollywood. And then August. Let's talk a little bit about August, right? The books that I want to tell you about that I know about right now, I'm sure there will be more. Lucy Parker's next book, Codename Charming, comes out on August 15th. Yay! And there's a new adult book by Allie Carter coming out on August 8th called The Blonde Identity, which is about a young woman who finds out. So basically, she's a twin and the CIA is after her thinking that she's her twin. And it's a whole caper. And I just love a caper, right? I love the balance of internal and external conflict. Like we have to go here and also you're hot. I'm a big fan. That's all good. So that is what I have read and what I'm looking forward to reading. Some of it, there's a lot more books coming out that I'm excited about as well. And I'll share those in the future. But I'm curious, do you also love audiobooks? Has your brain decided to not want to read text for a while? Has that ever happened to you? It's very strange. I mean, I'm just going with it because, it's my brain. I live with it, but, it's weird. Has that ever happened to you? I'm always looking for new audiobook recommendations. And we have a rec league of audiobook recs coming up soon, too. But I'm really curious for you to tell me, what are you looking forward to reading the rest of June, July, and August? What are your summer excitement reads? Are you reading? Are you listening? Are you rereading? I am very curious. I would love to hear what is on your TBR. Thank you, as always, for being a member of the Patreon. Your support means so very much. Please come find us in the Discord community and tell us all about what you're reading or watching or cooking. And also, you can see pictures of all of our pets. Thank you again for being part of the Patreon. Have a great rest of your day.